Hi, I'm Kenneth. I learned something new this week.
This week, I learned about using AI to create your ebooks, how to make sure you do it right, and how to publish them. And I am sharing it with you.
Welcome to this explainer on the future of the page. We are diving deep into the absolute transformation of digital publishing today. We are literally in the midst of an ebook renaissance right now. Think about it. What used to be this grueling, agonizing journey from a tiny spark of inspiration to a published manuscript, a process that routinely took months or even years of just solitary labor, has fundamentally compressed. Thanks to generative AI, that timeline is shifting from months down to mere minutes. It's wild. But here is the secret we're going to unpack today. AI is not here to replace your human spirit or your unique voice. No way. Instead, think of it as your high-powered, tirelessly working creative assistant. It's here to handle all the heavy lifting, the tedious formatting, the structural foundations, so you can just focus entirely on your unique perspective. So, here is the mental map for our masterclass today. We'll be going from the modern ebook renaissance to your essential AI toolkit, the 5 steps to publication, ethics and best practices, and finally reaching the global marketplace. All right, let's jump straight into section 1, the modern ebook renaissance. Okay, let's dive right into this. You might be wondering, why are we even talking about ebooks when short-form video seems to be completely consuming the entire internet? Well, because right now, the ebook remains a remarkably dominant, high-value digital asset. Think of it this way. A social media post gives you what? A fleeting 3-second moment of attention? But an ebook? That delivers deep structure and a clear, distraction-free transformation for your reader. Honestly, the biggest hurdle for any author traditionally has just been the transition from having a great idea to facing that terrifying, empty blank page. AI removes that friction completely. You don't have to be the researcher, writer, editor, and designer all at once anymore. AI shifts your role. You're no longer the solitary laborer, you are the creative director. You're the visionary commanding the AI to do the tedious formatting, while you focus on the overarching ideas. Basically, you're the architect and the AI is your production team. Now, if you're building a modern ebook, you're really targeting one of 3 primary formats, and knowing your destination upfront makes this whole creation process so much smoother. First up is EPUB. This is absolutely the undisputed industry standard for e-readers, mainly because it offers reflowable text. That basically means whether your reader is on a massive desktop monitor or a tiny smartphone, the text automatically adjusts to fit their screen perfectly. If you want commercial success on platforms like KDP, Kindle Direct Publishing, you absolutely need EPUB. Next, we have PDF. This is your go-to for direct website downloads, lead magnets, and keeping your internal hyperlinks and fixed layouts exactly where you put them. And finally, MOBI. It's kind of considered a legacy format now, but it definitely still remains a functional export option if you happen to be sideloading to older Kindle devices. Moving right along to section 2, your essential AI toolkit. Look, you wouldn't build a house with just a hammer, right? And you really shouldn't write an ebook with just a basic chatbot. There's just no one-size-fits-all in the current AI landscape. You really have to match the specific software to what you're actually trying to build. For instance, if you want an all-in-one pipeline to go from an idea to a finalized export in a single sitting, Inkfluence AI is an absolute workhorse with its structural blueprints. But what if you're a novelist? Well, then Sudowrite is your best friend. It's built specifically for creative fiction and has this incredible story engine. Unlike general AI that, forgets your protagonist's eye color by chapter 3, Sudowrite maintains that character development across hundreds of pages. For marketers trying to turn existing podcast transcripts into lead magnets, Designer handles that repurposing seamlessly. And for visuals, Canva's AI image tools are incredible for generating custom, royalty-free cover art and interior graphics with just a few quick prompts. Okay. Let's get into section 3, 5 steps to publication. We are charting a really comprehensive course here. We're going from the very first spark of identifying a niche all the way through the winding path of drafting, designing, navigating those best practices, and finally reaching global distribution marketplaces. Having this kind of structured process, that's literally the difference between a project that gets abandoned in some random desktop folder and a polished asset that actually reaches real readers. Let's break down this master sequence step by step. Step 1 is niche and problem identification. You can use an AI like Gemini to find these evergreen topics that people are actively searching for right now. But crucially, and I can't stress this enough, pick a niche you actually love or already have expertise in. Why? Because it is infinitely easier to spot and fix an AI's factual mistakes when you actually know the subject matter. Step 2 is strategic outlining. Use a dedicated tool like Jasper's eBook outline agent. And here is a massive pro tip for you. When you're prompting the AI, explicitly instruct it to include at least 10 lesser-known pieces of advice. If you don't do that, the AI is just going to give you the exact same generic top 5 lists found everywhere on Google. Force it to dig deeper. Step 3 is drafting. Step 4 is design and visuals, where you make sure your commercial EPUB meets strict trim requirements using a formatting tool like Atticus, so it looks super professional on any device. And finally, Step 5, final polishing. Never, ever publish raw AI output. Run it through Grammarly to catch mechanical errors, absolutely verify all your facts, and ensure you have a really strong author bio to establish your unique authority. Actually, let's zoom in on that drafting phase for a quick second, because this is exactly where a lot of aspiring authors tend to stumble. Understanding the difference between an AI writer and an AI creator is going to save you hours of frustration. An AI writer, like your standard ChatGPT or Claude, just gives you raw text. You still have to painstakingly copy, paste, and format it in another program later. An AI creator, on the other hand, like Inkfluence or Automated, handles the heavy text drafting and the visual layout simultaneously. But regardless of which pipeline you end up using, here is the absolute golden rule of drafting. Use the first-person perspective to aggressively hunt down and kill what the industry calls AI slop. Come on, you know exactly what that looks like. It's when a chapter randomly starts with the word delve, or calls something a testament to, or just spits out endless repetitive bullet points. Scan every single chapter for these robotic crutches. Rip them out. Replace them with your own expert recommendations, your personal anecdotes, and a natural conversational tone. That human injection is exactly what makes the book actually worth reading. Which brings us to Section 4, Ethics and Best Practices. As the creative directors in this whole new era, we really have to ground ourselves in some serious legal and professional anchors. Adhering to professional guidelines is just entirely non-negotiable if you actually want to protect your work and maintain your readers' trust. The reality of copyright law today is pretty stark. AI-generated text is not copyrightable, period. If you attempt to register a copyright for your new ebook, you must legally disclose your use of AI in that application. Knowingly failing to do so isn't just some simple clerical error. It can literally be considered fraud, and it will entirely invalidate your registration. Furthermore, if you plan to work with a traditional publisher down the line, their contracts pretty much universally require a warranty of original authorship. Handing them unedited, raw AI text is a direct breach of that legal contract, which could lead to canceled deals, or honestly, much worse. This is exactly why you have to perform substantial human revision. So to keep yourself professionally safe, you've got to follow these best practices. First, like we just discussed, perform those substantial revisions. Make the text undeniably yours. Second, try to choose AI models that are trained on licensed content whenever possible to support the broader creative ecosystem. Third, and pay attention because this is a massive operational detail for your data privacy. Always opt out of data training settings in public chatbots. How do you actually do that? You dive right into the settings menu of ChatGPT or Claude, navigate over to data privacy, and physically toggle off model training. You absolutely do not want your unpublished, highly sensitive manuscript being absorbed and used to train a public algorithm. And lastly, just remember that you, and you alone, are legally responsible for the facts in your book, so ruthlessly fact-check every single claim. And finally, Section 5, Reaching the Global Marketplace. All right, so you've written this polished, beautifully designed, and professionally vetted asset. How do we actually get this into the hands of readers everywhere? Well, the reality of the landscape right now is that readers are multimodal. They might read a chapter on their tablet right before bed, but then they want to listen to the exact next chapter on their morning commute. The incredible news here is that you can now create a full audiobook without ever stepping foot inside a ridiculously expensive professional recording studio. The pro method is using a tool like Inkfluence AI's built-in generator, which offers these really incredible, natural-sounding voice options. But if you want the scrappy, totally free method, simply paste your chapters right into ChatGPT, activate the free Read Aloud feature, and start a screen recording on your phone or device. Once it's done reading, you just drop that video file directly into a free editor like CapCut, extract the audio, quickly edit out the awkward pauses, and boom, export your audiobook file. It's a brilliant, totally free pipeline to reach a completely new audience of listeners. Now, when comparing your royalty options across publishing platforms, it is vital to choose the marketplace that actually aligns with your specific strategy. So the crucial point is this. Amazon Kindle Direct Publishing is obviously the undeniable giant in the room, and they offer a 70% royalty. But to get that rate, they demand exclusivity through their KDP Select program, meaning you can't sell that digital file anywhere else.
Automotive steps in as a really strong alternative with a massive 85% royalty and zero exclusivity requirements, though you do need to quickly configure Stripe Connect to get that direct automated payout. Then you have Gumroad, which leaves you with a phenomenal 90% of the sale. However, there's a strategic trade-off. Gumroad is fantastic if you are selling directly to your own massive social media following, but it does not give you the massive built-in algorithmic search engine that Amazon provides. If you don't have an audience yet, giving up that extra 20% to Amazon might be entirely worth it just for the organic discovery.
As we wrap up this explainer today, I really want you to remember that this renaissance isn't actually about the technology itself. It's about what the technology unlocks inside of you. AI is the ultimate assistant, not a replacement for the human mind. The most successful, highest-earning ebooks out there aren't just generic data dumps. They are strong foundations built rapidly by algorithms, for sure, but they are brought to life by your humor, your deeply won expert insights, and your completely authentic voice. So, I'm going to leave you with this provocative thought to chew on as you start your own publishing journey. The AI provides the foundation, but what unique spark will you bring to the machine?
Did you learn something new and exciting about creating and publishing ebooks using AI? Share it here. I want to know about it too.
This video was researched with Perplexity, processed with NotebookLM, refined with Google Workspace, Gemini, and CoPilot, and finalized with DaVinci Resolve and Canva.